You're tuned in to the Jersey Comic Crew, and on this episode, we're going to discuss Mark Ruffalo's Hulk appearing in the She-Hulk TV series on Disney+. Stay tuned. All right, guys, it's time for our next topic. We're going to talk about some more TV news. So there's a big possibility that we're going to get Mark Ruffalo's The Hulk in the She-Hulk series. And now this has not been confirmed, so I want you to calm down just a little bit.
Hold the horses.
But Mark Ruffalo himself has confirmed that he has been in preliminary talks with Marvel to appear on the show.
So it seems like it's going to happen.
Exactly.
Actually.
We do know that because of licensing rights with Universal, Hulk cannot have his own TV show, not TV show, well, his own movie, TV show, whatever.
But She-Hulk's not a part of that.
She-Hulk is not a part of it, so that's a loophole. And allowing Hulk to be in these ensemble movies is their loophole to have him in, right?
Yeah.
So now that brings us to the question: if he's in it, what is this going to add? What is this going to be?
I'm a little conflicted with this because a lot of people don't like Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. A lot of people are
dumb.
I agree. A lot of people don't like Mark Ruffalo's Hulk in the sense of he's not smashing things all the time. He's not fighting things all the time.
It's called character progression, character development.
Exactly. So I think, but again, if you're adding a movie Hulk gigantic, are you taking away from She-Hulk? Is it overshadowing the She-Hulk show?
So my prediction for this, right? So we know Jennifer Walters, right? Not even talk about the show. We know her as the character. She gets her powers, various iterations, but one of the most popular ones, she gets a blood transfusion from Bruce Banner to save her life, right? Mm-hmm. And then in the comics, he runs away. So people have the fear he's going to be in an episode, give blood transfusions, and run away. Mm-hmm. We do know he does have a big major injury on his left side, right side, whatever side he snapped the finger, left. Right. It's this one, yeah. So I'm thinking this is more Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner in this show, less than Bruce Banner Hulk in the show.
You think this is going to be post-Endgame, which makes sense.
Yeah, this is 100% post-Endgame.
And two, you think it's going to be, are they going to do that? So in the comics, Jen Walters is his cousin.
Yeah.
Is Bruce Banner's cousin.
Sure.
Are we going to do hey, my cousin got severely injured. We know in the show she's going to be a lawyer, which is awesome. We know in the comics, Jen Walters has a better control, not so much control, but a kind of more even keel with her Hulk side.
So one of the more popular runs would be the Dan Slott run for this character, when she was, green all the time, right? She was She-Hulk all the time.
Kind of like how Hulk was in Endgame.
Correct. And she is, but not a monster, just pretty much like her size, but a little bit bigger, right?
Hot.
Yes. And she would defend other superheroes and even supervillains in court, like the legal side of Marvel, right? And that was always fun to see. You see D and C-list characters you haven't seen in a while.
Or her versus Matt Murdock in the courtroom was awesome.
That was awesome.
Awesome.
But that could be a way to introduce other villains into the series that could pop up later, some more interconnection because Marvel likes that. But I'm thinking this is more of a passing the torch.
Ooh.
I think with I was gonna say Wahlberg. I don't know why. With Ruffalo's Hulk, not Wahlberg.
Holy crap! I'm a Hulk.
Oh my god! You want a burger, son? So,
go Patriots! I'm a Hulk now.
Oh my god! So I don't know why that name came in my head.
Go Sox!
But I think we've seen all we can from this Hulk right now. I think we see him passing the torch along, if you will, to She-Hulk. She stays She-Hulk for a while. We see that kind of style because seeing two Hulks at one screen, unless it's something big, is going to be hard to do. I think we do this and we let Ruffalo, take the backseat for a while. Mm-hmm. He goes off doing his own thing, and then eventually you could do a World War Hulk story, like She-Hulk goes to World War Hulk, and you could have that connection.
I would love to see that. I just think they did that in Ragnarok.
Yeah, but we did. But the only thing left with Mark Ruffalo's Hulk for me is to see him purely savage, purely monstrous, as a monster taking
Hulk.
everything. Yes, that's better.
I'd rather do Planet Hulk.
Like a Planet Hulk.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can see with him. But where we are with Ruffalo's Hulk now, that doesn't really make sense. We did the smart Hulk. I think he should take a back seat, help She-Hulk, kind of guide her how to use her gamma powers, and he doesn't transform a lot because of his injury. Then he goes away, and then we can see Planet Hulk with him down the road if we want to. I think this is the time where we transition from Ruffalo to the new She-Hulk.
I think there's going to be a little bit of both. I think, one, it's called She-Hulk. You have to focus on her.
Yes.
Right? Two, we know Thunderbolt Ross is going to be this as Red Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ruffalo has the knowledge and the experience with Thunderbolt Ross.
Yes.
Because he's been through the Avengers and he knows about the Sokovia Accords and all this other stuff. But I think Ruffalo, I'm hoping that Ruffalo's more of an assisting character or a cameo character.
I think so.
Where I agree. I want She-Hulk to be kind of front and center, right? I think She-Hulk is an amazing character that doesn't get a lot of play. She's in the Avengers right now. So, as an amazing part of the Avengers.
Well, here's the thing. In the Avengers right now, like we talk about She-Hulk having different style, right? Mm-hmm. You know, the Hulk, traditionally big, giant Hulk man, regular human. Jennifer Walters usually is just green throughout the whole time. Yeah. In the current run of the Avengers, obviously you know this, but I'm telling them, she's more of like a hybrid. She's still green all the time. She could transform to her regular self, but when she's green, she's like a beast. She's like the Hulk, but you know, a female version of it.
Yeah, yeah.
She's a berserker.
Yeah.
Berserker She-Hulk, I think is the name.
She's kind of unleashing more of her power and kind of letting loose a little more.
Correct.
And I think that's awesome. I'm very interested to see in the show which version of her they do. Okay. The more like, you know, streamlined version where she's the Hulk, but she kind of looks like, you know, a beach volleyball player. Or like a female bodybuilder. Or if they're going to go nuts with her and make her like, you know, like what's her name in Dragon Ball Super when she goes like Broly.
The Broly from the other universe.
The Broly from the other universe, basically. Yeah. Like, are they going to go Berserker Hulk? And I'm interested in that, but I'm also very interested to see if Ruffalo is going to kind of be not just like, hey, I was the Hulk, let me teach you, where it's kind of cliche, right? It's not like we need a Hulk origin story for this. We need
not necessarily
Jen's origin story, because you have to know like the lawyer stuff, her relationship stuff, like her life. I'd be more interested to see like, hey, like, I need your help. I'm getting sued because I'm the Hulk.
Oh.
And people are pissed because of property damage, loss of life.
That'd be cool.
Ramifications of the snap. Like,
they blame it all on me.
Like,
I'm getting,
I did the snap. I have 500,000 people suing me because when I re-snapped, people came back on planes that weren't there and died. Or people, you know, were in cars that were like, you know, not theirs anymore and crashed and died. Like crazy stuff. And she has to, on the legal Jen Walters side, kind of like help Bruce out, where Bruce is like, I'm a brilliant scientist, I'm the Hulk, but this is out of my realm.
And then she defends her, not even as She-Hulk, and then somebody, like, you know, acts out, tries to shoot him.
And a Matt Murdock cameo.
I lose my mind. I would lose my mother effing mind.
You just turned into a Southern Baptist church.
My Lord Jesus. Play hallelujah. No, stop. On a more serious matter, I like that aspect. And then, like, while she's defending him, somebody in the stands, you know, freaks out and tries to shoot Bruce,
like in Dark Knight with Harvey Dent.
Correct. And then it shoots Jen. She's critically injured. They do a blood transfusion right then and there without him thinking of the ramifications. Boom, She-Hulk.
I also want to see Hulk and She-Hulk fight Thunderbolt Ross.
I don't know if I want that.
You don't want 3 Hulks beating the crap out of each other?
I mean, it'd be cool.
Is there anything more testosterone than that? Like, you might as well just be lifting while watching it.
Let's do this.
Like, you might as well. I
can see that.
That's a very far off connotation, but I would love to see Matt Murdock make a cameo in the courtroom. You don't have to see Daredevil. You don't even see, you see a door open and you just see the walking stick come through.
And that's it.
And like it panels up and it cuts out. Like, it's like the season 1 finale.
Yes,
amazing.
Yes. Like, you know, what does it say? Like, the moments leading up to a kiss is sometimes better than the kiss itself. Yes. So they could do the tease, not even show anything. But like, oh, this Murdoch guy is the opposing counsel. And I'm like, what did you just say, woman?
Yeah. Or she's in the courtroom and it's like a close shot. Now I'm directing things.
Go ahead.
It's a close shot of her face and she's looking through her files and you just hear like the tap of the blind stick and the feet and the footsteps. And you just hear Charlie's voice in the background just go, oh, Miss Walters, I'll be your opponent today. And you turn around and she turns around and it's just a quick shot.
That's too much.
Glasses on.
That's too much. That's too much. That's too much. You can't do that. I can't handle this excitement.
I would need 3 pairs of underwear for that.
Oh my.
Or like Miss Walters. Or like he goes like, you know, Miss Walters, your reputation precedes you or something like that. Because again, Jen Walters is supposed to be like this smoke show gorgeous woman who gets downplayed because of her looks. but she's so good at her job and so good that she like basically she doesn't even use it to her advantage. She's just like, yeah, I'm just better than you because I'm actually a smart, independent human being, and everyone's just
and she don't need no man,
and everyone's too busy staring at her face. And then you have Matt Murdock, who's blind but sleeps with everyone.
He's such a slut, guys.
Sleeps with everyone.
I can't believe it. The more I read Daredevil, because I didn't read him a lot until I started the show.
Amazing.
And stuff like that. And I'm like...
And me bothering you every day asking you about Daredevil.
Well, listen to this. I don't even want them to talk about... All right, but we got to move on to the next topic.
Sorry, I was literally directing the episode.
I don't even want them to bring a Matt Murdock or do all that. I want on a piece of paper to read Foggy Nelson, and that enough is like, that's adjacent. It's adjacent. That means maybe they're going to do
I don't want Foggy.
I want like the ultimate tease. I want them to do like Foggy Nelson. I'm like,
you just see like, I
don't see anybody. I just see the name.
Here's another tease too.
All right. We're getting excited with teases.
At the end, she's done and she's like beat up from fighting like Thunderbolt Ross, and Bruce goes back to doing Bruce stuff, and she's kind of like just sitting in her apartment, and she gets a doorbell ring, and it's like, I'm sorry, like I'm sorry to bother you, but like this case just came in, and she gets handed Daredevil's baton in a bag, like an evidence bag.
Oh,
like Daredevil's fighting baton.
I know we're talking a lot about Daredevil.
This is what but I think I just want Daredevil back more.
We do. Before we wrap up, I think She-Hulk is going to be the best out of all the Disney Plus shows. That is my stance.
That and possibly Moon Knight.
Just because it'll be on the opposite side of the spectrum.
Yeah, no, I think She-Hulk will... I think She-Hulk is a very unique character where it could bridge the gap between street level and massive powered superhero.
And then also the strong feminine side of things, I think they could really play up in here because she gets mocked constantly, like you said, for her looks, for being a woman in law, which is predominantly male.
Read Avengers, Jason Aaron's run of Avengers, he did a one-shot where Jen Walters kind of explains her entire life story from not only just the comic books, but like the trajectory. It's amazing. And it talks about her like, you know, being looked at as like, you know, a model, and she modeled for a bit because she needed money. Almost like Peter Parker where he wrestled to get money. Fantastic.
So guys, let us know down in the comments below what you think of possibly Mark Ruffalo in the She-Hulk series. What do you think the She-Hulk series is going to have? And then ultimately, do you think we're going to get a Daredevil cameo? Because apparently that's all we could think about.
I should have changed it to Daredevil on early talks for Disney instead of Ruffalo.
Ruffalo, we still love you.